I'm going to call the February 11th continued meeting to order. Now, there is some issue. We had an agenda set up, and the majority of the board wants to follow the agenda that was sent out. Sheriff Lippa has sent us an email late this afternoon saying that he doesn't want to follow that agenda. So,
yours was sent yesterday, and the part that we're not going to follow is the fact of we are going to answer number 2 in there. The only one that's not going to be talked about would be that of the scheduling. So it's not that I don't want to follow it, I just want to clarify.
but all these issues were written down by board members during public comment when everybody came to speak. So these were all issues that were written down during that public comment and submitted by board members. So it wasn't any one person that came up with the agenda.
But it's just scheduled as well discussed.
Well,
Mr. Thomas?
we just want to discuss, really, we just want to figure out a way, when we talk about scheduling, there were a couple of people who talked about the fact that for whatever reason, there are only 3 deputies on duty at the night shift. And we just wanted to discuss, or I particularly would like to discuss how we fix that. And if you have some way to fix that that's not confidential or something like that, I think we can discuss it.
So Thomas, all of this will probably be answered in the PowerPoint. Okay, so let's go through the PowerPoint because it's all dealing with pay disparity. If we're able to get what's equivalent to King George and us to do what we can from Louisa and King George, we don't have spots in Hanover, so I defer and let's just wait till the PowerPoint's over. And let's see what questions you might have then if it's not answered there. I mean, aren't we here for the pay disparity? Aren't we here for that part of the budget presentation?
But we sent out a list of topics. It wasn't just pay disparity. It was a number of topics that were sent out on the agenda that were accumulated through board members' comments after the last public comment.
Which came to me yesterday, correct?
How long is the PowerPoint?
It's not long, because we don't have that much time.
How long is it? 10 minutes?
10, 15 minutes.
All right,
That's all it is.
That'll work.
all right. We'll go with PowerPoint.
We look about the Caroline County Sheriff's Office and we all stand for community committed, service oriented. I want you all please to keep that in mind because that's our logo. And that's what we attain to do. Personnel shortages and issues. Pay disparity with Caroline County Fire and EMS and the Caroline Detention Center. Please keep in mind this is not anything negative towards our EMS people, our firefighters, because I feel that they deserve more too. I'm just pointing these things out with our shortages and what we have. The average salary for a patrol deputy is $43,500. The average salary for a patrol deputy with special certifications, which means investigators, FTO, field training officers, our SWAT, which is our CERT team, Special Emergency Response Team, instructors, hostage negotiations, and so on. So it's extra specialized training, still stays with that. The average salary for a firefighter is $45,938. The average salary for a firefighter with special certifications is $50,000. The average previous 5-year salary increase for firefighters $8,108. And I think you guys have seen this slide once before. The average 5-year salary increase for the deputies has only been $2,576. Starting salary for non-sworn detention facilities officers up there is $43,531. So with that being said, I think there are some pay disparity issues that you as a board can help us. I'm asking you for the help. I've asked you that before. We all need to work together. All right? With the personnel shortages, the number one priority is officer safety. Do we have enough deputies out there? I think we do once we fill the vacancies. Training takes up to a full year before a new deputy can work on their own. That's the key that I want you all to understand. It's not like, and please don't take this different, Mr. Black, It's not like a teacher that teaches a certain subject that can come in from any other school, and Reggie, you're an educator too, that can come and speak. You have lesson plans, that stuff is there, not for us, because it takes us a year to get a deputy out there. That's where I feel the crisis is to our county as we're growing. Potential increase in response time could be different. But I want you to understand, each and every one of our deputies, we will get to a call as soon as we can. If we are shorthanded, you might see a difference or a lag in the response time. All right, personnel shortages. Y'all got this letter, I think that was sent back down in September of 2019. And this was the starting salaries as of 2018. Everything that you see on this board, with the exception of Louisa and King George, has gone up drastically. And as you said, and we've all agreed, we can't keep up with Spotsy and Stafford because they make so much more. And I think Mr. Cully pointed that thing out when it deals with, and maybe you did too, Mr. Seeley, when it deals with their tax ratio and how much a penny brings into them is different than what it does for us. So we're not naive and we understand that. But still, when you look at the starting salary, and again, everyone should have gotten that letter back in September. You wonder why I was a little antsy that it's taken this long to get here. In Caroline Sheriff's Office, our starting salary is $35,803. Let me explain that. Because of the fact, if we've got to send you through training, it saves the county. I want to be a steward of our money. Because when we send them to training, and I'll let you know, we do have one in training now. And in doing so, $35,803 is what they start at. And I just told you, we've hired one. We have one in basic school. Doesn't mean that they will complete it. Doesn't mean that they'll become certified. So it saves the county money as opposed to paying them the $39 to start with. Why? Because when we pay $39 to start with, $39, I think it's $803, that when we end up doing that, we're getting certified people to come that are trained, that are certified, but they don't know our county. And we've attracted one of those. The lowest starting annual from around the jurisdictions, when you look at King George, they start at 44, they go up to 46. Louisa at 42, that goes to 45. Caroline, 35 to 39. Your Caroline deputies with 1 year of service are currently making, what, 67, 70 less than King George. And 58, 28 less than Louisa. Now that's not my setting. That's what you guys have. Those are real numbers. And that's why we need your help. And that letter was sent to you when we talk about these employees are doing the same work in adjoining jurisdictions for far less in salary. Personnel shortages, I've asked about the multiplier. And if somebody asked, that's number 2 for you when we're talking about retention. This is one of the retention tools. Caroline's retirement multiplier, that actually should be 1.70 as opposed to 1.75. Despite that we sent that letter, like I said, 5/31, we asked to increase it to 1.85. In your sheriff's office here, we are young. This doesn't affect me. I'm the old guy, been around for a long time. I have a 1.85 multiplier anyway from the state police retirement system. It's the same as all sheriffs. So it doesn't affect me. Who it could affect would be, Major Moser, Stacy Carey, Keith Chapman, who else? And Jill? And Julie. And Joe Crow, because they came from other jurisdictions. So that's not very many at this point if they chose to retire at 50 years of age and at least 25 years of service. Good? All right. I request the County Board of Supervisors for medical insurance. I think Scott and Mr. Thomas had talked a little bit about that. Well, maybe something that we could do, and these are the recommendations that come out. When we're talking about the recommendations that I put out, $8,000 increase for all sworn employees. Does not include me or Major Moser. And I've asked for this, and again, I've asked for this way before. We've almost seemed like we've missed that time period there from 2019 to 2020. I think I asked for 4, which was written in a letter, and then go up to 8, which would have been a $12,000 increase. We haven't been increased at all. But that $8,000, and I'm saying for everyone across the board, would take care of any compression issue that's in the works, that could be in the works. So every employee here would get 8,000. That means those that are fairly new with less than 3 years, we have no compression issues. Everyone that starts new would start at the newer salary. Everyone in here wears multiple hats. Everyone in here had a minimum of 1,200 hours. All right. It helps, like I said, it helps take care of internal compression. See, I've already got ahead of myself. Places the sheriff's office salaries with par with fire and EMS, and what I'm talking about is your EMTs, chief, or what is the ones that...
At that rate, be paramedic.
paramedics. And the paramedics, I understand, take anywhere from 1,000 to 1,100 hours. And as I said, the basic deputy goes 1,200 hours from basic school to come out here. Another recommendation, increase the retention for all sworn employees, instituting and fund a more complete career development. You probably look at career development because all these other agencies around us are doing career development. If fully implemented, it would take the place of any merit raises that you plan on giving to the rest of the county. This would take care of the sworn people. We still have those civilians that work like records, dispatch, and office personnel. They would still be under the county pay plan. So whatever monies you plan on doing for raises from 2021, this would take care of that. We're not going to double dip on you. We're not asking for that. Another recommendation is restore funding for a tuition reimbursement. We used to have that. We'd like to go back to that for those that wish to aspire to get degrees, because why? Whether we add an annual stipend or if we want to say we want to make that part of the salary, so if somebody has an associate degree, they get X number of dollars, a bachelor's degree, X number of dollars, master's or whatever, very similar to what all the teachers have. And we could add an annual stipend for those that are fluent in other languages, again, to attract people, whether it's Spanish, German. They speak Italian, I need to learn, so maybe we can do something with one of them. And or we can do a one-time sign-in bonus. Personnel shortage issues, again, pay disparity with fire and rescue. Average salary, again, was $43,500. For those, again, just as a reminder, the average salary for the firefighter, $45,000. With the special certifications, as Chief Loftus just mentioned, their average is $50,000. And average previous 5 years was at 81, to us at 25. In the bottom line, the starting firefighter EMT with Caroline without overtime makes $41,446 annually. Starting for the deputy without overtime makes $39,472. You guys know the rest of this stuff.
Well, let's go back to our agenda.
We're going to go back to number one on our agenda, budget review of this year.
Who's running that computer over there?
Me. It's not,
I asked who was running it. That's what you use for the presentation?
yes, sir.
Okay. Could you stick my thumb drive in there? I have two files. One is called 2020 proposed overview, and the other one is sheriff's raises. Oh, I don't need class. One is, and what I wanted him to pull up, because this is agenda item number 1, which is our budget, Tony, what we go through the budget process, and it should be 2020 proposed overview number 3. It should be what we got when we went through the budget process, and I just pulled the numbers from our budget process, and it looks like we gave you what you asked for. So I wanted to make sure that was clear, and if that was wrong, I wanted to make sure we knew that was wrong.
What was it? That was 2 years ago, wasn't it?
Our budget, 2020, this year's budget,
budget.
because that's the very first agenda item, is review of this year's budget.
Oh, the current fiscal year.
What you, it's not a PowerPoint, if you could just
It's
call
just
it up.
Excel, isn't it?
One is a PDF and the other is Excel. Call it up on the screen.
And Mr. Thompson, Lord, for the sake of time and everything else, whether that is or isn't, I'm just letting you know what everyone else has done around us when we did
But
2017.
that's good. I need to make sure that we gave you what you asked for last year, and if we didn't, then that's a problem.
Did not. They did.
And this is that file. See, can you zoom in where the red block is around it? Just, it's a PDF, there you go, a little smaller.
I can see that.
Okay,
It's fine.
one more time, up.
Are we talking personnel or are we talking?
We're talking salaries, because that's what we're talking salaries. And this is the budget sheet right out of our budget book. And it says that your salaries are, I'm really not reading it from here, but it says it's 25 million in salaries,
No,
2.5.
2.5 million. Didn't I just say I wasn't reading it from here? Okay, it says 2.5 million, and you asked for 2.3 million.
Oh,
So, but the first, the 2.5 is what the county administrator recommended. The 2.3 is what the department asked for.
Well, we don't actually ask for
we
this.
don't, no.
We never put
don't.
in salary amounts. It's always comes from the finance department unless we request positions.
Okay,
We never
so-
do the figuring on that side.
So from my perspective, this, and what I just explained to you was, this is what I think you asked for.
Correct.
Right.
And if, from my perspective, again, I gave you what you asked for,
Right,
right?
you understand that? It was
Okay.
afterwards. All right, but go ahead.
That's all I'm trying to, because that's my perspective.
I got you.
And that's all I have to go from.
I understand that.
So, I think we gave you what you wanted.
Back at the time that was
In,
done.
in this time last year.
Right.
In February.
When we go through the budget.
Correct.
So if we do this same exercise again, and you ask for $3 million, and we give you $3 million, you're gonna say you got what you asked for.
I hear you.
That's,
I
okay,
understand.
we understand.
I understand that.
Who's back there, David?
Yes.
Can you pull up the Excel
Which
spreadsheet?
one do you need?
No, I'm saying that was submitted this year.
It's also in the same ground.
Yes.
Is that the one?
I saw it.
Okay.
It was right there.
So it seems like from my perspective on the board, we're doing what we're supposed to do, and there's some number that's not getting from you to the board that we need to work on.
Yes.
That's for the fiscal year we just submitted to the finance department, though. Yes, you're
Yeah,
correct.
but I mean, we're working on last year's number.
Yes.
Right.
So that's
And it
what
was
we
not
have to work
submitted
on.
last year, you're correct.
Okay, okay. Now, this is a little spreadsheet, because I'm a number nerd. This is a spreadsheet that Charlie sent me, based on the numbers that you sent him or he pulled from finance. You have, yeah, make it a little bit bigger.
Get rid of the left column.
You have 25 deputies.
That left column there, down to manager.
That's probably all the other things I had. But you have 25 deputies. And I just took the salary
Better, thank you, David.
of all of those and added them up, and that's 1,173,000. Sound right?
Yeah,
It is.
I
It's
trust
right out on
you.
paper.
It is right, because they're Charlie's
I
numbers.
understand that.
So here, I'm saying that
This part. This is mine.
the average salary for deputies is 42,000.
I'll look at it different.
That's just total number divided by 25. And the SROs, the average salary is 47,000. Number divided by 4. So, do those sound right?
Well, it could be because we have a master deputy in that position, yes.
Okay, and I don't know that. I just want to get us on the same playing field so we all understand what's going on.
Okay.
I took those numbers, since the SRO number was different, I didn't include that. But I took those numbers and said, if we gave everybody a $2,000 raise, a $3,000 raise, what the total number would be. And David, if you make it a little bigger or spread those columns out?
He's gotta spread out F
Spread out
and H.
F and H? Okay, that's fine
There
there.
you go.
The other way.
Back up and then go up,
There you
now
go.
just move it up. But you can see the number, if we gave, and I just happen to know the 375 number, if we gave everybody $3,725, that bottom number in the right that's hashed out is 200,000. That's how much it would cost the county with salary and benefits. That sound right to you?
That, yes, because I gave you that slide of 8,000, it would be somewhere close to just under 400,000.
429, 472.
No, that's okay.
We
I'm
can-
okay with that.
Probably
We can
something
kind of use
like
this,
or something.
this is almost a fair representation of where we are. Right?
Yes.
It's coming right out of payroll. So it's a fair representation, and then we're saying these numbers will go from there.
Does this include any of the comp board funding?
This is just salaries,
This
not
is
where
just
the revenue
salary.
comes from.
We don't count where it came from. I just got a number from Charlie that he pulled out of finance. Okay?
Okay,
You sound kind of close. I really want to move fast. That's number one, which is all I cared about right now. We understand. From our perspective, or from my perspective on the board, I think we gave you what you wanted. So somehow the communication needs to come from you that says, this is what, we wanted 1 point whatever, and you gave us close to that number, but somehow you took our positions out. That's something you need to do.
Right,
Okay, can you fix that
we did this year.
this year?
It's,
Okay.
yeah, I'm saying that's already been submitted for this year,
Yeah.
for the next fiscal year coming.
Okay,
Yes,
great.
The budget previously, the month it was submitted, it was a 5-month difference before it was looked into as in the pay difference. So that's why it was not submitted to begin with the original budget, because it was past time.
Okay, and that's, I mean, that's fine. I'm saying again, from my perspective, it looked like you got
Correct.
what you asked for.
Correct.
Now, how many open positions do you have?
4.
4 total.
4 total.
And how much, those would be totally starting salary positions?
Correct.
Probably training on the training side of it possibly.
Because we don't know whether they'll come from those that are already certified, which.
But that's in your 25 number, that's the, should we really have 21 right now, not 25?
No, that's payroll. Those are actual people. And I don't care who they are, there's no names.
I understand.
And I put them all together to the average, except for one who's kind of obvious.
Right.
And so there's none of the unfilled positions are in those numbers?
I don't know, I gotta look.
Oh,
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I gotta look, I gotta have the whole spreadsheet to do that.
I got it here, if you want to look at it.
Well, I can look at it, but I'll confirm that one way or the other. We don't,
and
I
this
think it does include everybody that's vacant or otherwise.
Yeah, that's only including 50.
What?
That counts, it adds up to 50.
It adds up to 50.
And we have 54
Then it's
total.
missing.
So
But that includes the sheriff as well, and 54 is our number.
So the sheriff's not up there, so you have 53?
But we just lost one, so that's probably why you're showing 3 as a difference, because one literally just left.
One's a grant.
So it might have been for the payroll purposes, was still showing up as of the last pay, the pay cycle.
Well, yeah, this was pulled out of payroll a while ago.
Yes, and
In
she-
January.
Yep, and she left, the very end of January, beginning of February.
Oh, yeah.
So that was our 4th position. So technically, that would be correct. No, the open positions are not in there.
So you're under the overtime number, so it's.
Right. Okay, that's, and you got four open,
Technically, 1 person.
So 3 are.
and you said starting salary, starting salary was what again? 30?
35,803 for non-certified,
non-certified.
and 39,472 for certified.
That's where we are now.
Dave,
If they have to go to school, we only pay them, there's no point, they're not certified, we only pay them our
can you
training
go, want me to go
salary.
down a little bit again?
Tony, as you and I talked about, when you
Right
bring
there.
in a new
Right there.
recruit into training, and you pay them the 35, don't you think that if they finish and sign, then that money that they've lost through should be given to them to bring them up to the 39?
I don't know if that would cause an issue
So
with
you
the county.
Right, but you say you're saving us money, but
I don't think it's
It's a-
considered a loss because technically they're not certified. So
But-
you're comparing them to a certified guy that's already done, and they should make the same rate when they're just going to school, and they're not actually putting their life on the line at that
They
point.
can't do any law enforcement function.
Right,
while they're in school.
while they're in
So
school.
there's no point
It's
in,
5 months.
there's no point in retroing it back for something that they were
They
not
weren't
capable of
certified
at the
for.
time.
So, don't you think it would be more attractive if you told me that, I disagree with you.
Oh, I see where you're
And-
going
and-
from.
And I just believe that if you told a teacher that you get 35,000, and if you complete your first year, you get to be even though you're teaching, you get the salary of a regular teacher. If I sign up to be a recruit, and you tell me that I'm gonna be paid 35 during my year of training, should I complete and stay with the sheriff's office, then that money that the other people get, I will receive that at the end of my training, and as long as I stay with Caroline County. I think it makes us more attractive. And that's the issue. You want to attract people first to gain a larger number of possible people, so you can say no to some folks.
I guess I would look at it as a different terminology, more of a sign-on bonus than retro and a payback. You know, since they're not considered certified.
See,
I think
I think
it's.
the starting salary should be the same for them, regardless. But if you don't complete, you don't get the additional funds.
Right.
Which they don't
So-
make it for us anyway,
Right.
see?
So-
And we did this to compete like with, if you look at Louisa, you look at King George, you look at everyone, we didn't pay you the whole salary because you are of no use to us at that time.
But you are of use. Yes, you
Well,
are.
no, but what I'm saying.
Yes, you are. They are.
Maybe
They're
that's-
coming.
Maybe that's not a good way of phrasing that to you, but what I'm saying is they're not certified, they might not even
I
complete
understand.
it. I have no problems.
I understand they're not certified,
Okay. They
but,
get that as soon
but they
as they.
will, but there's no incentive for me not to keep looking elsewhere for a job. There's no incentive for me to finish with you, should I hear about Henrico paying me a little more money, because when I complete this, guess what? I'm gonna go.
Sure they are.
But if I know that you're gonna give me additional funds to bring me up to the level that I've been through trainings, then I'm more likely to stay.
But it's not that much difference, and we can look into
Yeah.
that. It really, we can look into that. I've done
$5,000,
Let's look at it on the phone.
Mr. Chairman,
right, that's what,
Mr. Black?
I got a question for you. So let's say, for example, that I'm a deputy in Essex or King William or a very, very small county, Wise, Bath, one of the very small counties, and I've been a deputy for 10 years. So I'm, my husband, my wife, whatever's moving to Caroline. Are you starting them at, let's say they've had 10 years of law enforcement experience, wherever jurisdiction they come from, are they starting at the 35?
No, they started at 39.
They started
They started
39,
as a
so
certified.
they don't get any, because in the teaching world,
Yes.
okay, I'll just be honest with you, like I started teaching down in North Carolina for 4 years. So when I moved to Virginia, since I was at a public, now they don't count private, but I was at a public school in North Carolina. So when I got hired in Spotsylvania said, all right, we're gonna start you at step 4, because you have 4 years of teaching experience. I heard Major Mosher talking about it, like it's, I'll be honest with you, like, if someone comes in, I've been at the teaching profession for 20 years now, if someone comes in to Spotsy and they've been teaching 25 years, I would expect them to be paid more than I would. Because it doesn't matter if, I've been at Spotsy 20 years. My way of thinking on that is like, I've been at Spotsy 25, but they've been in the profession for 25. You see what I'm saying? And
Yes.
so, it's not a question of like, to me, in some ways, that's detrimental to the whole process, because if someone has that law enforcement experience, why wouldn't I pay them at a higher level?
Because of the fact of how the public safety field is, it's different than teaching. For example, if you look around, we have some of those, and we have attracted them from the smaller jurisdictions. They do come to us because they're even making more money of what you said at King William or in Essex. Is Holmes in here? Okay, so and again, we do attract them. And yes, so we attracted Sergeant Miller. Put a raise of hand, so this will show you, and this is my point, for how long have you been here? And we look at these that have it, and I'm telling you, from Henrico Police, State Police, we all started whatever the beginning salary is. When I was with Henrico, I was with them almost 4 years. I started at the base.
that's changed.
No, No, not even, it hasn't, it hasn't, even though it was. But when you look at it, we also have some that worked at PRJ that are here. And when you get up there and say, we're gonna bring somebody in that has 6 years over somebody that's been in my office for 3 and 4 years, that knows Caroline County, that knows our policies and procedures, then what are we saying to all of those that have been here and invested their time in here? It would kill the morale, and then we would lose people. It's the same thing that would be in fire and rescue, and I know that they don't do it either. It's different in your profession. I'm just letting you know that I know that it's different in that profession. Because you
Chief
talk-
Loftus, you don't, if somebody comes with 5 years' experience, you don't give them 5 years at all?
No, sir.
See, I'm telling you because
It's
it
profession-wide.
Yes,
It
everybody.
says profession-wide.
Public safety, man.
Fire and EMS.
Fire and rescue wise.
That's correct. And the other thing we don't have, to this point, we don't have steps in our pay scale. So to bring somebody in, where would we put them? We don't know. We just do minimum, midpoint, max. There's no years attached.
And see,
So there's no lateral program, basically. We don't have a lateral program.
That's what it would be, yeah.
That's not up to us.
you know, if you do, okay, think about what
The
the.
pay plan is.
The pay plan is,
The pay plan, if you would establish steps in it, then you would have the ability to do that if the profession chose to do it.
But you're saying, but you're saying with them that you don't want to do it.
Yeah.
It's not that we don't want to do it, it's the fact of saying if we did,
You
we
have to
would
correct
lose.
some people here, though.
Yes,
Yeah, you would have to
you
take
would
it
have
from years of experience.
to, again, change what's there.
Yeah.
This is why I say, and I want you all to understand, when Mr. Cully and us, and we all sit down, we all sit down, we all look at it. When we proposed this budget, it was again before everyone else went up. We know after the study in 2017, that's another recommendation to you. Do you want to do another study? Do we want to use what numbers we already have from what's around us? We need to work, is what I'm trying to tell you. And that's all that I'm asking for. I can tell you the certain things that we have and why they're there. And it all goes back to the disparity that it will take care of. I know it's getting close to the time.
No, we're kind of on number 5 though. Could I just do number 4 real
Oh,
quick?
I'm sorry.
That's fine, that's fine. I mean, we're kind of flexible. But this is like not a scientific, scheduling program, and I know you didn't want to talk specific about how you schedule, but I just took sergeants and deputies, 25 and 8, 33 people. And I multiplied that by 2,080 man hours. So that's the total number of man hours. I gave everybody 4 weeks vacation. Not that they all have 4 weeks vacation, holidays, sick time. I'm just trying to figure out some kind of way to put my hands on it. That gave me 63,000 hours, man hours, person hours to be fair, and then multiplied it by the number of shifts, and it should have 7.8 people as far as coverage. Now, I know you guys have some kind of scientific way you do it or whatever, but
Yeah,
we should almost have 8 people per shift.
Yeah, you have investigators that are included in there.
No, not.
Investigators are the same as a deputy sheriff. It's a lateral. There's no,
Oh.
that's not a
So
promotion,
we
so
don't have a road deputy number.
no,
Yeah,
that
the
includes,
investigators.
that includes our investigative team as well.
6 investigators in your charge, so 25 deputies and 8 sergeants is 33, that's what he's looking at.
Oh, okay.
Beyond that, you got 4 lieutenants, 2 captains, 6 investigators. He's not included.
So you did not have.
I don't have the
six-
investigators.
Okay.
He just has 33, 8 sergeants
And
and
25 road deputies.
Okay.
He just took the number from above that he
See
multiplied
above,
that.
David, can you go up a little bit, up and to the left? Yeah, you see that,
You
Tony?
got 2 day shifts, 2 evening shifts, and 2 midnight shifts.
You got 4 shifts and not 3.
We have.
4 shifts of 6?
We have 6 shifts.
6 shifts.
We have 6. We have 2 day shifts, 2 evening shifts, and 2 midnights, because
You
we
have to
work at
rotate.
4:10. We have to rotate.
So
See, that's gonna
The
change.
two day shifts.
That's right.
Which means,
You got.
this day shift is working,
And this one's
this day shift's off. This evening shift is working, this evening shift is off. This midnight shift is working,
gotta cover
that
24-hour
midnight
period.
shift is off, because we're.
Well, that's what
20
I did is as in 3/8. So now you're telling me I have to cover a 24-hour period
Yes.
with 6. with 4 6s and not 3 8s.
This is now, it's on 10-hour shifts.
We do 10-hour shifts, Mr. Thomas, and the reason why we do is because we've looked at scheduling, and this gives us the most people, and I've said that again in all of your, we have the overlaps, that we need
Yeah,
the
yeah.
overlaps, okay? And when you're talking about an evening shift, and my evening shifts are the ones that are short. So when they come out and they start at 3 o'clock, well, then midnight shift is gonna come out at 9. So for that time, they
So-
might be a shorthanded until the others come. All right?
So based on where we are, even if you got the 4 new positions, you're still gonna have an issue?
What we asked for is we have the 4 vacancies, and we've asked in this upcoming budget to ask for 2 more investigators, right? And 2 more patrol.
So so you're saying you're short 8 people, 4,
That's
2,
what we're
and 2?
Yes, sir. That's what we're asking for in this upcoming budget. Because of our investigators and the investigative team, as much as they do with the narcotics and stuff, they need more.
All right, so we,
That's a
We
different
do.
budget.
That's in a different budget.
yeah, that's just sure.
That's because we have the animal control budget, and we also have the E911.
Okay.
So see, we have 3 budgets and we're dealing with it. I know, and I know you guys have your regular meetings, so again, I appreciate it.
No, but these are things that I have to know to be able to decide where we're going in the whole concept of what's happening. So, and you can see, I'm just trying to do, from my perspective, I thought it was 3 8s.
Yeah.
Figure out how that works. If you're saying it's different, we'll figure out how it works differently.
Yes.
But there's gotta be some sort of way
And you-
that there's never 3 people on duty at once.
Yeah, when we were short, right now, the way that the shifts are set up, if I'm not mistaken, we have 4 on evening shifts. We have 3 on midnight shifts, but they each all have a supervisor. Okay? And they're all working supervisors. That's why I was saying if we do raises, it's gotta be for all. But, and see, even when you look at a schedule like that, Mr. Thomas, even when you have to do a schedule of, you're saying it's 24 hours, you still gotta build in somebody to be off.
Yeah.
And then what causes
Yeah.
us even more issues and problems too, is everyone goes through training. And so when we have those that then, or if they're in training, then again, it makes us shorthanded. If they've taken vacation time, that makes us shorthanded. If they're sick, they could make us shorthanded. We know we can't do all of, everything to be there, you know, the way that we would all want it to be, because this is what they live with, and this is what they have.
Mr. Forehand?
Is it, do y'all ever, or have y'all ever thought about doing a differential for midnight shift to incentivize people to go to that shift?
You know, it's funny that most of our people, our midnight shift is full.
Yeah.
And whether that would or not, yeah, believe it or not, and it's the same thing, there are other agencies that give a differential for evenings and also for midnights. But it seems like our people like those 2 shifts. They pretty much hate the daytime because they have to get up at 6 in the morning.
Well, I think it works out for family issues.
Yeah, it's family issues, just what she says. So,
Sheriff?
I have,
Go ahead, Dan.
I just have one basic question, because I'm not sure with the different budgets, and you being an elected officer, whereas the chief is a hired personnel. When you get your budget, do you have categories and you spend accordingly, or do you have a budget, are you more like the school system?
No, ma'am.
No.
We have line items.
You have line items?
Yes, that's
All
right.
right.
Yeah,
So if
We
we,
don't control their line items, like the school.
like the school board
We
controls.
don't need,
We control the school board categories. We don't control anything with your budget. We don't control anything with your
we
budget.
don't control anything.
We don't, just categories.
We do categories,
We
we don't
have
have
to
any
ask
control.
permission for transfers and stuff of
Yeah,
that
they're-
nature.
they're
Y'all
like-
do control our line items.
Yeah.
They're like a department in the county. They're not treated any different because of the
We're
constitutional
just
law.
like a county
Treasurer,
department.
Commissioner of Revenue,
So
Sheriff's
what, you
Office.
still have 3 teachers for one?
so,
Mr. Seeley?
Mr. Black?
I'm trying to wrap my head around this, and maybe Chief Loftus, you can help me with this. So when we did the salary study, which we did a couple of years ago, 2017, right? And the recommendation, we hadn't had one done in about 10 years. I think most jurisdictions do one about every 5 years, from what I've gathered, 5 or 6 years seems to be the trend. I'm trying to wrap my head around this, and Chief Loftus maybe, or Mr. Cully maybe. So why would it be that a firefighter EMT chief would get 41,406, and then the deputy who's gone through the training get 39.
That's where it graded out. That's where the Waters and Company graded those positions out based on,
Are the,
and
okay.
that was looking at surrounding
Are they-
jurisdictions and everything else. It's where those positions graded out.
Are
The
they-
difference between those two are they do work a different set of hours.
What do you
Fire and
mean?
rescue works 212, and the deputies work 160 prior to overtime.
212 per month?
For
And
28
we're
days.
212.
28-day cycle is it,
28
chief?
days.
Same as us, right?
28 days.
And
But
then
you're
so-
working 160.
Yes,
And then
we
they
work
get
160.
overtime on that.
We're scheduled 160.
Right, and you get,
So
you get
you're-
overtime differential,
your-
straight pay versus
your
overtime
people are
pay,
working
and
212.
Makes you there to 171.
Correct.
Your people are based
Bob's
on,
researched it.
the 41,406 is based on 212 hours, and theirs is based on 160, is that what you're saying?
Correct.
So there's like,
The man year is different,
Right,
the
right.
total man.
Okay, I'm
year.
just trying
If you
to,
look at the
I'm
hourly
just trying to
rate,
figure out why they, okay.
you gotta look at the
Okay.
hourly rate.
Okay.
Everybody in the whole system in our pay
Right, I
plan
just
has an
wanted to
hourly
know
rate.
simply why there was difference, okay, thank you.
And I want you all to know, when they did this study, I don't know what the other departments did. I didn't compare us to fire and rescue. I gave to, I don't know what they had, they might not have known what I had. And in essence, I wanted to do what was good for Caroline County, and I think most of y'all here would agree that as soon as we went up, everyone else did. And this is what's caused our gap. So,
You think that's gonna happen again?
Absolutely.
yes, you see, like I said, I'm gonna bring, when I look at, and again, I understand that. What I'm hoping that everyone in here and what they see is room for Caroline County towards advancement, and they love the people in Caroline, because I have several that do not live in this county that still work here. But I can also tell you, we have 25 people plus that work Spotsylvania and live in Caroline County.
I guarantee you.
We have 9 from Hanover that live in our county. One of them is also with the town of Ashland that live in our county. And they, again, work for that higher money. What I'm trying to show you is, in these that are here, how dedicated we are to you guys. We're not naive to the fact that we know that you guys have that pie, and you have to chop it up. And I went to your constituents meeting, and when we look at this and we look at, the fact is, when we're doing good, we're glad that we're doing good, that the county is. But it rests on the backs of these employees that risk their life every day. And when you see the disparity for smaller counties, Louisa, King George, that's hard for everyone in here to swallow. This isn't about me. It's about them. And therefore, whatever you can do, because again, I'm not going to go very far other than the fact of what's in the reserves, so that's all I'm going to say. I know we have some monies there.
It's not, as I explained,
I understand
it's
that.
cash reserve, we get paid, no, you brought it up, I'm gonna finish that sentence.
This
We
is-
get, the county gets paid twice a year, just so everybody's clear. We get paid in June and December. The money in the cash reserve is what we pay bills with between June and December. When I first came to the board, there was a line of credit of $6 million that was used, and we paid almost $200,000 a year in interest, which is 1 cent of real estate just about. So cash reserve isn't extra money. Cash reserve is money used to pay bills. So it's not extra money. Just so everybody's clear, it's not, if you get paid on Friday and you spend it all on Saturday, you're done for 2 weeks. It's the same thing with the county. If we take that tax collection and spend it, we're done until the next tax collection season.
We can't do that, because they don't give payday loans to the county.
Well, and I understand that. I'm just going from what I heard, my perspective, Mr. Thomas, okay?
Which is fair.
And last but not least, I want you all to understand, when you look at this dealing with fire and rescue too, you gotta remember, they have to man their stations 24/7. So they get, don't take this wrong either, they get paid to sleep. Our people don't.
They get extra hours for sleep.
Yeah.
They're not home. They're not home.
You're absolutely correct.
They're not what?
They're not at home.
They're not at home then, but they have
Get
a
a call,
nice
they
work
got a
schedule.
response.
And if I wasn't afraid of heights, I mean, that's the way it's going, everyone loves parking. I
But
wouldn't
Tony,
be a question.
when we look at Louisa and
Everybody's got
King George,
Yes.
for me, I look at where our revenue comes from, the tax base.
Yeah.
And you have to realize that with Baldwin and King George, for example,
And the landfill.
and that's a tax revenue that we don't have. I mean, look at Louisa, North Anna, Newton. That's another tax base that we don't have. So for me, sitting on this side of the table, I want to make sure that we have the revenue. That's why we're trying to grow business in the county. The only way that we're going to do and build infrastructure is to continue to grow business in the county. Because next year we're going to be here, because like I said, there are going to be increases in different parts. There are going to be increases with teachers, with employees. But if our revenue base doesn't increase, where does the money come from? Our taxpayers can't bear so much burden. And that's why we're continually trying to build businesses. You guys ought to be able to see that when a new business comes in, that's a new tax base for us to look at increasing. But when Russell Stovers left the county,
We lost.
that was absolutely.
Oh, I understand.
So if we lose another, then our revenue base decreases. So we have to look at and take all that into consideration. If the money was readily available, I think we can look at it, I would look at it a lot differently. We're going to do, I think, and I'm speaking for myself, but you and I have gone back and forth with good conversation. We're never going to be able to say what is deserved based on our community, based on our revenue base. But we're going to do our best to ensure that they know that we're doing our best to ensure that they get every dime that is justified.
Okay. And thank you for that. Thank you for that, because that's what we're asking for, is again, to see how much, let me ask you, what comes out of the Carolina Detention Facility? Don't we get some money from
Yeah,
that?
but let me explain the detention center. Well, you brought it up, I'm gonna explain.
Here we go.
Well, you brought it up, I didn't.
I just asked the question.
And here's, the detention center is a 5-year contract. That revenue is used for capital projects because we can't put it in the operations budget because at the end of 5 years, they could not renew and we lose those funds. So if they're capital projects, it's not, if we lost $1 million in revenue in the operation budget, it would be an automatic 4-cent real estate increase. So those funds all of those funds went to capital projects.
Sure.
And we are also forced to pay federal wages to those folks because it's a federal contract. So we don't have any control of that.
Sure.
Oh, yeah,
No, no, I understand what you're saying, Mr. Saline.
If I could add to that, one of the things is, and I've heard from some of the chat that's gone back and forth, people are upset about a lot of the money from the detention center, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, is going towards a fund to pay off Ladysmith Road. So we're widening Ladysmith Road, and the idea of widening Ladysmith Road goes back to what Mr. Underwood has said. If we widen Ladysmith Road, it's going to attract business. If we attract business, we get more revenue. If we get more revenue, so that's an investment. What we're trying to do is an investment into the county to say, look, hey, we attract these businesses, the tax base goes up, which is good for everyone in this room. So we're trying to plan for the future. We're not trying to say we don't care about the sheriff's department, we don't care about the schools. That is a capital money that as Mr. Seeley said, it's only 5 years guaranteed. So we're taking that and trying to put it into an investment so that way we can get a business there that's going to be there every year for 20 years. And multiple. I mean, we thought we had a Walmart there, and then the Walmart pulled out. So, I mean, we are trying to do things with infrastructure so it will benefit everyone in this county. Because when our revenue goes up, it's everyone else goes up.
Now, can I piggyback off that? Because we're talking about more businesses, we're talking about more houses, we're talking about more calls for service. We're talking about we need more deputies, we're gonna need more patrol cars, we're gonna need more dispatchers. So again, it's the same thing with fire and rescue. And I know we have one that's coming down to Carmel Church, and you were talking about capital improvement. I asked about the public safety. Do we have any money that's set across for the capital improvement of the public safety bill?
Currently, no, I don't believe, because I've still got a Sparta fire station to build and we're looking at a Carmel Church fire station down the road. Those are things that the board has deemed as needed in the very near future.
Where were you before you moved to the building you're in now?
Where were we before the little house?
Me and him have always been in that building.
Yes, we have.
We took
Harvey's.
Latney's office.
Mr. Harvey moved over to the general district. I
And
was in the
record-
building that we were, but also the sheriff's office also had the little house that Mike Broadus is in.
And the
That
upstairs of the
was-
jail.
Yes.
Our records was upstairs or
Right,
downstairs in the
right.
jail.
Okay, the jail, that's
So
what.
Tony, let me just add
But
one.
we invested in that building. So I mean, it's not like you're all of you guys are in that one little spot. But we did invest in that building. You know, it's not brand new, but it is a building.
I mean, he was just saying, because we're in 3 different buildings right now.
Yeah.
Let me share one thing with you, Tony, and it's a balancing act for me, because when we look at it, we realize that we have to have infrastructure in order to attract business. So, you know, the question is, do you wait to build infrastructure, and then that puts off businesses even further? But you also have to balance the needs of the county in terms of salaries and all that, all as well. So it's a balancing act, I'll be honest with you. We try to hit it as well as we can based on our numbers. And that's what dictates. When Carmel Church just blew up, we needed water, you know, to keep that growing, keep it going. But we didn't have the water, we wouldn't have a Carmel Church. And that's a $20 million investment that we didn't have.
And we wouldn't have a ladies' man.
Right.
I mean, I'm
It's tough.
familiar with
It's a
everything
balance.
that y'all are talking about.
It's a
When you think about it,
balance.
I've been here 40 years.
Yeah.
So I've seen it, and that's why I said, this is good that we talk, but I'm letting you know, and I've said this at the very beginning. I'm gonna say this, like I said at the very beginning, we're gonna train them, and there's no guarantee that we will keep them. So it's like a revolving door, and I know you all understand that. And as you said in your constituents meeting, we're gonna grow. We all know that we're gonna grow. We got a plan for the growth. I'm just throwing out all the other stuff that's there that I don't know if it gets to you. And Mr. Thomas, I mean, again, this didn't get to you ahead of time, or I asked for it after it was already presented, then we need to have that communication. You helped us when it came to animal control, because we couldn't even attract anyone, and they're all deputies.
I got one last comment from Mr. Point, because we are at 3 minutes to 6.
We asked this of the schools a couple years back because they were having comparable issues, but do you do like an exit survey, or do you have a good idea of where these people are going when they leave?
Yes, for the most part, I looked at, and if y'all gotta go, I can get with you anyway, but I looked at the total numbers of police officers that we've lost in 16 years, and we've averaged 3 a year.
Now, that's numbers, but I'm looking at
Where
why.
they go.
Yes, why they leave? Well, most of them go, I mean, if you remember, Sean Duffner, he didn't even stay 3 years, he went to Hanover for $8,000 more. Most of the people leave for more money. They do.
I need a motion to, no,
Recess.
right, to adjourn. I have a motion and then second to adjourn. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? I say the motion carries. We will start our February 11th meeting